Hello YouTube, this is Mike with PhoneJunkie.org. I am bringing you the HTC Windows Phone 8X review. Now again, this is just my opinion. I've been spending the past couple weeks with this device, and with all the buzz around the new Windows Phone 8, it is definitely hard to tell which device to go with. Now this device is 10.1 millimeters thick, weighs in at 130 grams. You have a 720 by 1280 pixels. The curved polycarbonate back, similar to the HTC Droid DNA, definitely makes it feel and fit like a glove. The tapered edges and rounded corners give it the right curves for your hands to wrap right around it. So on the top is your lock unlock button. On the right is your volume up and down rocker. And the volume rockers are sleek with a low profile design. Does not always offer the best click response, but is definitely something that you could get used to. On the bottom is your dedicated camera key. Now here I have the California blue. It also comes in graphite black, flame red, or limelight yellow. Here on the bottom of the phone you have your micro USB charging port. On the front you have your 2.1 megapixel front facing camera. You have your 3 LCD capacitive buttons. On the back, you have your 8 megapixel camera, LED flash, and again on the top you have your 3.5 millimeter head jack. Alright, so the HTC Windows Phone 8X has a 4.3 inch Super LCD 2 720 display. There's kind of a disappointment when you see their flagship devices like HTC DNA featuring a LCD 3, but here you still have a 720p display with a pixel density of 342 ppi. It is protected with Gorilla Glass 2 as well. Now there's not too much to complain about with this display. Images and text are really crisp, as well as viewing in direct sunlight. So I have found the HTC Windows Phone 8X's performance to be great. The HTC 8X has a 1.5 GHz dual-core Snapdragon S4 processor with 1 GB of RAM. Unbelievably, Windows 8 is not a resource hog, so the dual-core processor makes launching apps, playing games, multitasking, and watching movies seem smoothless and fast. Now, playing games on the HTC 8X is still a little amateurish compared to the iPhone iOS store, or as well as Android Play Market, or Play Store, excuse me. It's kind of hard to play and still do the review. But you still don't see the graphic intensive games that you will see with iOS or the Play Store. Animations are definitely incredibly smooth. Now when you go in here, we go into the apps here. Luckily Verizon didn't put a lot of bloatware on here. You have Verizon Navigator, NFL Mobile, and you have My Verizon Mobile, which you definitely can go into to check to see how much data you have used or if you need to keep track of your data. The HTC 8X has an 8 megapixel f2.0 rear camera with a 2.1 megapixel front facing camera. Now there's nothing to complain about here, and while it's not the best camera on a Windows Phone 8 device, it definitely keeps up with some of that out there on the market. Now it does have a 2-stage clicking on the dedicated camera button. You push down to focus and then click down to capture. Now I will show you some pictures that I've taken with the HTC 8X and also with the iPhone 5 to compare. Now, if the photos do not come out the way you want them, they do include a photo enhancer that allows you to enhance some of the phones right here on your phone. So up here you have the no effect, auto enhance, cinnamon look, however you like. So we'll go ahead and do the auto enhance. Alright. So you can see it brightens some of the things, it darkens some of the colors. and we'll hit save, and you can choose if you want to save it or not, and you can find your pictures in saved pictures. So let's say we go down here and choose another picture, and we'll do this one, overexposed. So as you can see, it changes there. You just hit the save. Now once we go to saved pictures, you see that it's in there. So that definitely gives you a little bit of control, a little bit auto enhancements to your photos. Now this device only comes with 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. It does not have a micro SD card slot, so you are stuck with the 16 gigabytes. So if you are a resource hog when it comes to media, songs, movies, whatever the case may be, you definitely want to manage your storage wisely. And while we're talking about media, the phone comes with Beats audio technology. So video playback is very well. Music playback is just as good. Now when you hook up your headphones to this, Beats audio software is supposed to amplify the sound quality. And from what I've heard and from what I've seen, it definitely does its job. We compared it to a couple other devices out there that do not run Beats audio, and you definitely can hear the sound quality a lot better. The music is not distorted. It sounds really well and comes across bass. You can hear his bass. So for the person that definitely likes to listen to music, this is definitely a phone to keep in mind. Now this is running Windows Phone 8. It's definitely new user friendly, but does take some getting used to if you're coming from iOS or Android. You do get a few nice apps like Microsoft Office. So if you're a person that definitely has, or if you have a Windows 8 running on your computer, this is definitely a phone that will sync very well with it. So here's an article that I wrote for Verizon for their blog here. As you can see, it shows up very well. Scrolling is not that bad. All right, we can move into the internet browser here. It loads web pages very well. Pinch to zoom works very great. The only problems we did come up with is when we were loading a pop-up in the browser. So if we need to click something that popped up to ask us for a username or password, let's say like on YouTube, the desktop app, it definitely became a problem where the screen was too short and wouldn't let us get it over. Now Windows Phone 8 definitely keeps you connected. The only downside to Windows Phone 8 is the Microsoft App Store. It definitely needs some developers to get more apps in there. It's lacking some basic apps that have been out on iOS or Android for a while now. But it's definitely adding more and more to their store every day. I would definitely like to see Microsoft offer developers something to make them want to create more apps for their store. And that way it definitely bring Windows Phone 8 up a lot. The 8X is definitely a great device. So if you are definitely looking for a Windows Phone 8 device, the HTC 8X is definitely a phone to keep in mind. It runs the Windows Phone 8 software very well. Got some great specs. The camera delivers well. And it does come with a 1800 milliamp battery. Comes with a 1800 milliamp hour battery, which did last me through most of the workday. But once you got home towards the evening time, you definitely would probably need to think about putting it on the charger. Well, you all have a good day. Thanks for watching this review.